Euromaxx Highlights, and here's your host, Anne O'Donnell.
Hello and welcome to Euromaxx Highlights. Well, we've compiled our favourite reports of the week for you. Let's have a look at what's coming up. Toy Perspective, photographing life from the point of view of a Lego figurine. Coffee Clash, the best Barista compete at the World Championship. And Racy Tour, we visit Monaco's top attractions along its Grand Prix track. Well, the Oscars of the YouTube generation is an award ceremony in Germany for the best online videos. Up to 7,000 videos compete for the top titles in 13 different categories. We caught up with the German filmmaker who won in the action category.
Revenge of the Beast is not your average skateboarder film. Its spectacular cinematography turns the street sport into an art form. The film's director, Sebastian is an avid skater himself. For him, it was a labour of love from start to finish.
Revenge of the Beasts was meant to take viewers under the board. You can share the excitement with them when you're flying through the air. So you have to develop a visual language for others to see it. The advantage of being a skateboarder and a filmmaker is having the camera path wherever you have tarmac. The camera is totally steady, with no wobbles. I used to shoot skateboard videos that way, but now it's become my trademark. Now when I'm making music videos, I have the board-mounted camera for 80% of my shots.
Sebastian is a versatile filmmaker. His resume includes music videos for the German New Age ambient outfit Schiller, to recordings of his many travels across the globe.
I always want to outdo myself, to do something new and unconventional. To get that inspiration, you have to go out and see something else. It's about finding your feet again, and traveling is essential for that.
When shooting a documentary about a faith healer in Bali, he used a different camera to the one he'd normally have for promotional films. His equipment and methodology vary according to the subject. The only thing that remains constant is his style of filming.
Every millimeter of movement makes a huge difference. It's always about finding the right place and the right shot, which can mean getting dirty. You also have to risk all the equipment, everything. You have to work out how it's going to look, with a skater coming towards me or jumping over me, then pan towards the light. In one shot, I'll have 5 things to watch: the light, the movement, and flying into the sun.
Sometimes Sebastian edits his material right where he shot it, so he can upload a trailer version to the internet there and then.
I like sharing my films with the world. In the old days, you were limited to a particular TV station or festival. And now there's this massive global audience when you upload a film. Plus you get feedback online.
Sebastian also uses the internet to finance his films via crowdfunding websites. He posts clips to keep his benefactors up to date on how his projects are progressing.
Crowdfunding is not only a financial tool. For me, it's also a tool for attracting people to a project in advance and encouraging them to get involved. So it's marketing as well as funding.
He's currently editing the follow-up to his acclaimed Revenge of the Beasts, this time with 10 skaters out on the streets of Indonesia. The film also reveals how the locals, young and old alike, reacted to a sport largely unknown in their country.
The great thing about my kind of films is that you can just live your life with the camera running. The good moments happen by themselves. It's not like going to work. If I look back on our trip, I'm not thinking about the camera. I have all those moments in my head, and I forget the camera. They're moments I've experienced myself.
You might not want to try these stunts at home, but you can experience the onboard thrills and spills from the safety of your own screen.
Well, in most German cities, it's almost a given that you will find a currywurst stand. It is Germany's traditional version of fast food, but it's not just popular with Germans. Tourists like it so much that startup companies realised there was a demand for it outside of Germany. Nowadays, you can find traditional German sausages served in many corners of Europe, and it's a trend that looks definitely set to stay.
This snack bar looks just like any other in Berlin or Cologne, but it's in central Warsaw. Wurst Kiosk, as it's known, specializes in German sausages, and it's a hit.
It has a fine flavor, and it's very delicately spiced. Perfectly grilled, too. Tastes really good.
I've never been to Germany, but these seem like the real thing.
It tastes great after work. I have one almost every day. I really like them.
Wherever German expats live, you'll find German sausage, normally. But the man behind this sausage bar is Polish. Bernard Roussel used to be in advertising. He developed a taste for the meaty German treat on business trips. He opened his first stand just in time for the Euro 2012 soccer championship in Poland.
I found a niche because no one was selling German sausages here in Warsaw, and actually Polish people like sausages, grilled sausages, especially during the summer. So I thought to myself that is a good starting point to open a small hole in the wall.
Roussel imports his product from just across the border. His snack bar, or Imbiss in German, offers 6 varieties of sausage meals. And the top seller? Currywurst, a true Berlin delicacy.
I had several meetings with various Imbiss in Germany, and I just watched how they are being prepared and how they are served with hot curry sauce and some, little things that are important for German people. And that's the way it goes, just like, in Berlin.
About 1.5 million tons of sausage are produced in Germany annually. About 1/5 of that total gets exported. To London, for instance. The British capital boasts several sausage stands. One of the best known is Hermann's a German. Since opening 3 years ago, it's made a name for itself as the worst place to go. The owners are Germans Florian Frey and Aseda Falakashi. They get their sausage straight from the Black Forest, from their neighborhood butcher. They started out with just a catering mobile, and then expanded to 2 restaurants.
We never expected it. We started out really small and went our way, and of course we're super happy that things turned out the way they did.
And in another corner of Europe, there they are again. At Portugal's southwestern tip, you'll find the last bratwurst stand before America. From spring till fall, Petra and Wolfgang Bald sell their Nuremberg-style sausage, imported by air cargo.
Most of our customers are from Spain, but of course we get lots of Germans too.
They've been satisfying customers for 17 years now. The Wurst Kiosk in Warsaw is branching out now with some new stands. And there are even mobile Wurst wagons crisscrossing Poland. So what's the secret?
It's simple and it tastes good. That's the way it is.
Any way you slice them, smoke them, fry them, or steam them, come and get your German sausages before someone else does.
Well, Lego Man has seen many of Britain's sites and captured them all on his camera. In tandem, photographer Andrew White has captured him, capturing them. And this series of photos is proving a big hit online. Playing with people's perception of size and space is a popular development in the world of photography, and Andrew White does it all with a mobile phone.
The world viewed through the eyes of a little Lego person. The locations may be familiar, but captured from a pint-sized perspective, they look quite different. It's all part of a project by photographer Andrew White.
The idea for the minifigure photography came because we were on a family trip to the Lego store and my children found a minifigure which had a camera accessory, and as a photographer myself I immediately saw the potential of being able to take this figure with me and sort of tell a story from his point of view, looking at him over the shoulder as he goes around taking photos.
White set out exploring the possibilities and quickly decided to abandon his regular camera in favor of a smartphone. It has one major advantage. Turned upside down, the lens is almost at ground level.
Literally within the first week of having the figure, I tried a couple of shots with my proper equipment, and I found that I couldn't get close enough to the figure and still have it in focus. And also the depth of field that I was achieving meant that the background was too out of focus. It just wasn't recognizable.
Many of the shots have been posted on Facebook, but White also sells prints on his website.
When I'm looking for an opportunity to take a photo, then I'm looking usually for either a well-known landmark, like we're in front of St Paul's Cathedral today, or I'm looking for a scene that people can relate to and that I can portray in perhaps a slightly different way. You know, I've been able to capture various different weather situations. They all make a dramatic photo in their own way. My favourite is where the figure is sort of standing looking at a rainbow but not actually taking a photo. He's just got his camera down by his side, and it's kind of reminding us that, you know, occasionally there's views that you need to actually put the camera down and just look and take it all in.
Andrew White isn't the only photographer to work in miniature. For the past few years, London-based artist Slinkachu has been creating small street scenes populated by tiny people. He's published several volumes of photographs and shown them in exhibitions. Two Paris-based photographers who go by the name of Mini Miam have also gotten in on the act. Their little people live on edible landscapes and have exciting adventures. In Germany, Thomas Vreda sets toy models in actual landscapes and takes close-ups of them as though they were real.
I'm certainly not the first person to use small toys or Lego in my photography. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it happening. There's a lot of it predates what I'm doing. I think what's different about what I'm doing is doing it from the perspective of a photographer. So you're actually understanding the story. It's very good to kind of contribute to a narrative and to keep things going from day to day.
He's dubbed his work Legography, and also plans to put out a photo volume soon. Not too long ago, Andrew White decided to give his Lego person some company, a crew of tiny superheroes setting out to conquer the world. Be warned.
Want to learn more about Europe and European culture? Visit Euromaxx on Facebook. You can tell us what you think, and you'll never miss an interesting topic. Many Euromaxx reports can also be looked at again. There are behind-the-scenes looks at how the reports and the program are produced. We like it when fans visit Euromaxx on Facebook.
Well, a standard filter coffee can vary wildly in taste, depending on where the coffee bean comes from, how they're roasted and ground. Drinking coffee has become about so much more than just a caffeine fix here in Europe, and the demand for a good brew is rising. Since the year 2000, there has even been a World Cup for the best barista, and this year it was held in Rimini, Italy. Having already qualified in their own countries, 54 internationals competed over 4 days for the coveted title.
Making coffee is a science in and of itself. At the World Barista Championship in the Italian resort of Rimini, everyone's a pro. They know their beans, the right roast, and how to get the grounds just fine. Milk and water are also of the essence. Everyone who brews up coffee has their own recipe for the perfect cup.
Because for tasting.
Every second in your mouth, the mouthfeel and the flavor, they change and give you a really movement. And this is what I'm looking in a blend.
How fine do you want to grind your coffee, or how coarse? So the grinder is like the main thing.
It's a chain, and every link has to fit together, from the producer right down to the barista.
During the 4-day competition, each one of the 54 coffee-crazy contestants has to serve the international jury cappuccino, espresso, and a unique beverage of their own called a signature drink. The jury is specialized in analyzing the complex aromas of the Java served here. They've got certificates and years of experience. Many are World Barista Championship veterans themselves.
What you could see in the last couple of years, that baristas that are actually competing and, who are the ambassadors for specialty coffee, they interact much more with the origin. They know much more. And so as a judge, you also have to keep up, just train yourself and read a lot and travel a lot, just to keep up with the knowledge all the competitors here are gaining.
Anna Tosberg is the German hopeful. She studied archaeology and first rose to the coffee challenge helping out at a cafe in Münster. It inspired her to train to be a barista. For 2.5 years, she's been leading the coffee school at the Röstbar, where she started out. Now she trains new talent. Her skills won her the German championship last year.
Coffee has about 1,000 aromas. You can compare them and taste them and notice, wow, that one's nutty, the other chocolatey, and another is fruity. That's amazing. There's always something new, and that just blew me away.
Her latest discovery is a pure, non-blended coffee from Ethiopia, the homeland of the Arabica bean. There, she found beans she roasted in various ways until she found just the taste she wanted. She's in the right place at the right time. Germans are suddenly raising the bar when it comes to coffee.
Many people want to be able to taste more aromas, and they want to know exactly where their coffee is from, the specific region. So interest in coffee has grown, and that's great. But there's still plenty of room for improvement.
Scandinavians are the role models to surpass in Rimini. Since the first championship in Monaco in 2000, Scandinavians have won the title 6 times. Not surprising for the world's top coffee consumers. Dane Søren Stille Markussen is at his 9th championship. He says coffee is like a wine whose flavors must be teased out. And he says the quality just keeps getting better and better.
I think it will be very interesting to see how bars are set up with machines, because that's also changing. This whole line of industry where express machines, as we saw in old days in Italy with all the lever machines, that's coming back.
So things just keep improving. Coffee has now been claimed by the connoisseurs. and the experts at the competition in Italy are making sure their exacting standards are met.
And it was Hidenori Izaki of Japan who won this year's World Barista Championship. So I'm sure all of his customers are fairly happy about that now. Once every year in May, the streets of Monaco are closed for the Grand Prix. It's situated on the French Riviera, and Euromaxx went along for the annual bash. We did stray from the track occasionally, though, just to show you some of the other attractions in the area.
The race that goes through the centre of Monaco starts on the busy Albert I Boulevard. German race car driver Ellen Lohr has been living here for more than 20 years and uses the boulevard daily.
Now and then I think, here I am sitting in the quiet neighbourhood of La Condamine with a coffee. And a few years ago, actually a bit longer than that, 50 metres from here, I was holding the trophy in my hands.
50 Meter davon entfernt Pokal in der Hand gehalten.
The peaceful quarter of La Condamine is located right alongside Albert I Boulevard. Next to the palace cliffs known as the Rock, La Condamine is the oldest part of Monaco. It's now been made into a pedestrian zone.
The old part, La Condamine, is located right next to the starting line. It's dominated by old buildings and apartments that don't have elevators. La Condamine is the opposite of hustle and bustle. For me, it's the most pleasant area here. There are plenty of nice shops far away from the malls. You can shop and stroll too.
We move on to the small church that marks the spot where the start and finish straightaways end. Sainte-Devote is where the course begins, winding its way up to the casino, Monaco's most famous landmark. The Place du Casino glitters with the glamour associated with the principality. International jet-setting guests party year-round at the Hôtel de Paris. Monaco native Henri Doria has been watching the goings-on here for 70 years.
It might not be a symbol of Monaco, but it's a pretty typical sight here. The Place du Casino is where Ferraris meet and greet. This is where luxury gathers. It's been that way for a decade. The casino was the start of Monaco's wealth.
From the Place du Casino, the racecourse heads back downhill towards the Fairmont, a luxury hotel built in the middle of a cliff above the sea. The best view of the tightest curve in the Grand Prix can be had from the roof terrace pool. It's something that former Silver Arrow driver Sterling Moss enjoys. He and his wife Susie are regulars here. Of course, they stay in the suite named after him. Images of his Monaco victories decorate the walls. The suite has a balcony overlooking the water.
It's in the right place. It's got a fantastic view when they go past. And, you know, I think it's magic. I mean, even without bothering about the Grand Prix, it's sort of lovely, you know, beautiful dining room and everything. Oh, I love it. Cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about you looking down from the bedroom.
I think it looks there. I'm picking up hints. I followed Fangio and this thing, I'm watching him.
After the hairpin turns around the Fairmont Hotel, there's a straight stretch through the tunnel.
But of course that doesn't mean that you can drive fast here. It's too bad, but you have to obey the traffic laws.
Legendary Paris-Dakar rally winner Jutta Kleinschmidt is always happy to get back into the light at the end of the tunnel. That's when there's a view of Monaco's yacht harbour, Port Hercule. The ships that tie up here seem to get bigger with each passing year. There are plenty of restaurants down at portside, particularly in the west, opposite the Rascasse curve, which brings the Grand Prix drivers back to the main straightaway.
You miss a lot driving through here at speed, just like Michael Schumacher did with his best time of 1 minute and 14 seconds. During the day, you can have a coffee and see more boats than you're likely to see in many other places. And come evening, it turns into a nice promenade.
In the bars and restaurants that line the course, the odds are pretty good at any time of the year that you'll meet a star race car driver, because, not surprisingly, many of them live in Monaco.
Well, thanks for watching. That is it from me, Anne O'Donnell, and the rest of the Euromaxx crew for today. If you missed anything, you can always catch up with us online. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.